Welcome, everybody. My name is NightFiree. I will be your soul conductor in today's journey into another top-tier Master, quite literally, Blaston VRML matchup, Season 2, Week 9. Rank 5th versus Rank 3. Tim versus Master. Tim, substantial amount more rating so far this season over that of Master, and I think, frankly, some of the highest rating I've ever seen. Over 3,000, 3,205. We were just watching 24, who's historically won tournaments. Not even they were ranked up in the 3,200s. So
the round is over.
I'll go ahead and give the players the ready, and we should be jumping in to round 1 soon enough. Let's take a look at the loadouts as we hop in to the start of the series. Over on Tim, we have the Hammer Ellipse, Hammer Nade, Nova, Raptor, Wildcat, and Raptor Ellipse. Over on Master's side, we have the Cortex Shield, Raptor Ellipse, Wildcat, Hammer, Raptor, and Hammer Ellipse. I've also been told that Master has agreed to not use any fast-shooting weapons. So what we're going to see here is a lot of clamps, a big bullet hell spread. No Viper shots coming in, no Luma arcs, none of that. It's going to just be about the bullet hell spread. And so far, Master has a very slight lead. That's what this could come down to at the end as well, is a very slight lead. One Wildcat bullet connecting, one Raptor Ellipse connecting. Wildcats come through. Master dodges. Good footwork from both players here. What you'd expect out of top players in the VRML. Shutting down the health Noahs with the shield. The nade detonates off the backside, pinching onto Tim. More setup here with the Hammer Ellipse and the Raptor Ellipse coming through, but ultimately the Hammer is just being dodged by Tim.
1 minute.
Wildcat gets picked up and the step forward comes through. Master so far done a great job of just chipping away a little bit of damage onto Tim's health pool, and as Tim steps forward there, they suffer greatly for their offensive push. The full clamp coming in on the Master now, though. They have to survive, and they do suffer a touch of damage there. Not enough to put Tim in the lead, but 35 seconds left, anything could happen. You know, when we get to this point, we will not have to worry about connection once we get to the finals, once we get to VRML Con. This will be a factor, and it'll come down to preferred loadout and raw skill. Interesting use of those hammer nades to kind of throw almost behind them so that by the time it gets to Master, it's moving very slow. It's almost like a health Nova in terms of speed and how much zoning it's doing, but ultimately Master is going to take round 1. Tim stretching out the hamstrings, making sure they're loose and ready, because it's a lot of footwork and a lot of dodging that's going to be required if they want to get themselves round 2 here. I think they actually threw that nade out of bounds behind them, so that one didn't even go off. But I do still like the strategy. I mean, I see the strategy working with the zoning that those little bullets are doing quite a bit. Enough, in some cases, to push Master to the bottom. Now, as Master recognizes an opportunity, they try to step up. Chip damage for chip damage here. There's a successfully deployed nade by Tim, and here comes the full spread, this full slow-moving spread, the Novas. That grenade slowly drifting to the corner. Again, the zoning, and ultimately it pays off. Tim, again, deploying a strategy I've never seen with that nade above their head and then having it come in so slow. Forces Master to pop their shield and get rid of all of that zoning. Oh, and interestingly enough, it's the health hammer nade, too. Makes sense. Not quite working well enough for Tim here, as Master still has the lead going into the back half of round 2. Been an exciting battle of pinches, though, as both players try and set up their opportunity in the zone. And both players try and deny their opponent's zoning. Good footwork from Tim. They tiptoe away from all of the damage coming in there from Master. They stay pretty close in this one, and now they're going to have the full setup. The hammer ellipse coming in. The health Nova is a little too slow, so it's not going to quite get there to zone Master enough. And it's going to allow Master to use that Cortex to shut down a lot of the damage opportunities. A change in strategy from Tim as they try and quick detonate the nade on the Master. Doesn't work out, though, and it's going to be a point into Master's pocket. See if we do any lobby swapping or anything of that nature. It looks like we will. So bear with us as we swap. I don't know that we'll see much of a loadout adjustment, but maybe. Frankly, the bunker shield would do quite a lot of good here. I mean, we saw it get deployed in some gold tier matches last week. Actually, I think higher than that. And it worked pretty well. So, could be an option. Waiting now for a new code, and then we'll jump in to match number 2. It is, as you know, a best of 5, and so an opportunity now for both players to swap anything in their loadouts. Also a chance for us to look at the overall win ratios of both players. Tim coming in with I think 12 and 10 so far this season. A lot of games played. Challenges taken there. Cool Master 11 and 5. Both of them obviously still with winning records, but and again, we are just swapping rounds. Swapping lobbies, so I'm just waiting for a fresh code, and then we'll hop into that and be on our way for round 2, but in the meantime, a little hydration. That'll be a key element for us to be focusing on when we get to VRML Con, June 3rd and 4th. Pretty excited about this event. Quite a few bit of tickets sold already. We had to extend the amount of hotels we had in our block because we do have a hotel deal with the local Holiday Inn Express for $139 a night if you do buy a ticket. But it's going to be a pretty dang hype event. The finals of Ultimex Season 1 and Blaston Season 2 will be played out live on stage alongside the Echo Arena's Sunset Cup. It's going to be, again, quite a exciting event. I'll be there. Captain Fabulous will be. I think Oolong will be as well. Your fan favorites. But also maybe some of these players that we're watching here today. I do have a code here for round 2. Match 2. Not round.
3. Blaston.
And go ahead and give them the ready. We can start into the series once they are comfortable with the settings of their game. And we'll get a quick look at the loadouts before we jump in to round 1. I've gone ahead and given them the ready from my end. And we should be jumping in to the start of the actual match 2 here shortly. Let's also do a quick side swap here as Master is on the left and Tim is on the right. And we will be jumping into round 1 now. Again, no fast shooting elements being brought here today. The Health Nova gets subbed in for Master. They're going to try and utilize that for zoning. No Health Nova from Tim. So we're actually getting a bit of a reversal in loadout here as well, as Tim now brings the Aegis Shield and Master brings that Health Nova. Full spread comes at Tim, and as Master steps forward, Tim able to avoid the zoning and the bullet hell. Master now again trying to set up, has to dodge the ellipses coming in. Some good floor work there as the Wildcat flies through the Health Novas. Tim tiptoes around the edge of their play space, barely avoiding those Novas and barely staying in bounds. Master hits to the ground as the full spread of the hammer nade comes through. The Raptors flying in, and now it's Master's turn as they chip down onto Tim's damage. The Wildcat doing some good work there. These nades slowly following in. And the Health Nova's coming through to try and zone Tim out. This is the full attack from Master, and it's doing some good work as Tim gets pushed to the floor. The Wildcat comes in as well. They step forward. They take damage as well. Tim still has the lead, but with the last 30 seconds, there's only going to be maybe one more attack opportunity for both players, and Master connects with big damage. That Raptor is huge. They step to the back of their play space, limiting how much damage they will take, and they take too much as Tim steps in. 15 seconds. Master's going to have to connect big as Wildcat does a little bit of damage there. I don't know that Master has enough guns to shoot as they look around for something to spawn in, and they almost connect with the ellipses in time, but not in time. Tim does take another round. Or I suppose a round, the first round. Round 1 here in match 2. Master almost taking the lead in the back half of that first round, but not quite. Full spread again. See the zoning forcing Tim over to the corner. They almost go OB, but not quite. And because they can't go out of bounds, they have to just take damage. Master trying to utilize that Nova to also deny some of this bullet hell spread. There's a health Nova, it zones, and then the Raptor Ellipse comes in for connection. Wildcat there, nicely dodged by Tim. Master floats around the zone. Tim tries to track down. The elusive dodge work. Raptor Ellipse shots coming in from the top to the bottom, the spread, the pinch. No connection there, and Master needs every bit of damage they can get. They can't afford to take what they are taking here. Step to the back of the zone. Tim takes a bit more. They step forward. A big opportunity they recognize, but the Wildcat only does a little bit of damage. That little bit of damage could turn into a lot of bit of damage if it gets chunked down shield, denying a lot of the spread. Nicely done there from Master. Tim doing their best to get back in this round. They've got this 1-round lead in match 2. Ooh, and Master almost gets completely tagged up there by a full hammer nade. They're lucky that doesn't connect. Or not lucky. I think they tagged it with a weapon drop.
10 seconds.
Couldn't quite see. Either way, 10 seconds left for Tim here. Do they even have any guns
5 seconds.
to do what they need to do? Master steps back. They just have to stay away from the bullets. And they do. It's going to be a round into Master's hands. And we go to a third tiebreaker to figure out if we're going to a series match after this for Master, or if Tim's taking us to at least 4 games. Tim seems to want to take us to 4 games, but now it's time for Master to attack, and Tim suffers big time. Absolutely trapped in the back corner of their arena, can't move out. The health nova is blocking their exit. A tough opening for Tim, to say the least. They're now setting up their attack, though. Double hammer nade coming in here, which I think is pretty interesting. The slow fall, the one above their head and the one on the shoulder. Master gets a lot of zoning there and taking a bunch of damage as their hand bounces around and tags. A couple of bullets. Tim getting back into this. Master steps to the back of their zone. It's the safest place for them to be. And as they step forward, they do big damage. Those forward steps are paying off. The health nova doing a big job of denying a lot of these bullets to come through. The Raptor steps up. The nade to the back. It's not Master's nade, though. It's Tim's, and it floats through them, doing no damage. Floats through them and also eventually towards Master. A big shield throw that allows this gap in coverage, and as Master steps forward, it's going to be Cool Master taking game number 2. Tim, but they're back against the wall. We'll have to see what they can do now as we go into another loadout swap. See if Master brings the Nova or the shield again. Either way, a pretty exciting series to tune into here, and a shout out to everyone that is stopping by and hanging out. Pete B. McGee, appreciate you. Might just be you, but hey, if it's just you and me, I'd say okay. The folks that are playing will certainly enjoy coming back and watching the action, so I appreciate you tuning in. But yes, indeed, it is a pretty cool match. The top players in the Blaston League here duking it out. A bit of a small look into what could be for VRML Con, June 3rd and 4th. Now we're just waiting for the lobby to start, and we can take a look at the kits. What seems to be the trend here is that whoever is host does take the Cortex shield, and whoever is attacking takes the health nova. But as I say that, and we do a side swap, you'll see that Tim is not bringing the health nova. I'll go ahead and give Master the ready, as it seems they're prepared. And we should be jumping into match 3. Master at series point here just needs to secure 2 rounds, and they've got themselves a victory in their pocket. Tim fighting for a chance, a long road ahead of them, but one that's doable, as they've certainly shown us today. The majestic nade coming in from Master, trying to zone Tim out. Tim doing a good job of dodging it. And still utilizing that hammer nade strategy for the slow deployment into the zone of Master here. forcing that Cortex shield to come out and push some of those hammer nade bullets away. It opens up a gap in coverage, and as they reach up to grab for a weapon, that Majestic nade connects and does a bit of damage. Tim in a tight spot as they sit to the back of their play space. They are able to step forward and dodge a bit of Master's shots, but ultimately do take a touch of damage. Here's a good push. Master taking a big chunk there, not able to connect as much as they would maybe like with this Majestic nade. And a nice trade there from Tim. Takes them into the lead here in round one. Without the health Nova, there just seems to be less zoning coming in from Master, and as I say that, they are able to push Tim to the front of their play space and do a touch of damage that ultimately seems to put them in the lead. They dodge a big spread coming through from Tim with the Cortex shield coming in for the Raptors. They have to dodge the Wildcats. They do. Now Tim has to back up. The nade comes in. The Nova, excuse me, the Majestic nade is denied. Oh, and a Raptor left-right combo does tag for a touch of damage. 10 seconds left, and Master can't afford a chunk like that. Take a big one. The Raptors come through, and as Tim steps forward, Master falls back with a Wildcat, a great deterrent, and as they trade damage down, Master takes round one nearly.
3, 2, 1, blast on.
Round two unfolding here. Wildcat nade, everything coming through. Oh, and a nice denial from Tim as they swap that Majestic nade back towards Master. Look at this spread that's coming towards Master's direction. They're able to spread the needle, as you say. Work through these spreads. And frankly, these spreads are all designed to have small gaps. So what it really comes down to is combining all of your different spreads together to eliminate the gaps that they each present. Master is finding the hole in the bullet hell in front of them. Through a lot of damage and then put that damage back towards Tim. The Raptor Ellipse in particular doing a lot of work for Master here. Same goes for Tim there. It does a good chunk. Majestic nade and Master seemingly stepping out of bounds, taking nearly their full health pool. They're down to a slice, and Tim has an opportunity to get back into this. Master can't afford a Raptor shot to connect, and it puts them in a very dangerous position. They can't really step forward confidently to zone, and this is a big risk for them to step forward like this. They dodge the Raptors. They dodge the nade. No Wildcat can connect, and there it is. We're tied, one apiece. Master had this one in the bag, but they step out of bounds, getting too aggressive. Tim seizes the opportunity, and they fight for a chance at a game 4. Big Majestic nade pushing Tim around in their play space, but ultimately not into any bullets from Master. There's a big Raptor. Small hammer nade pellets tagging Master as well as they prioritize getting tagged in order to set up the push in. A nice shot from Tim to push out and shoot down that Majestic nade that would have been deployed and zoned them. Puts their whole back of the play space an option for them, and ultimately that hasn't been much of a choice because they've had that Nova nade come through. Nicely timed Nova nade there by Master. Did push Tim to the back of the play space when they wanted to go to the front. That nade detonates a bit too high. And both players go on the attack. That's a good bit of zoning to the left. Tim doing great work working around it and still applying the pressure onto Master. I think we're at a near dead tie here. I say that Master takes the lead. Just barely. Raptors 1-2 Wildcat all dodged by Tim. And with 30 seconds left, Master takes the risk of turning their back to Tim. The Majestic nade's out, zoning them to the right side of their play space, but it doesn't matter because the offensive pressure is forcing Master to the back. Finally a chance for Master to attack here as Tim applied the pressure greatly, and as Master steps forward, Tim shoots back. It could be a Raptor that gets Master back into this, but those all miss. Step forward to the back of the play space. There's 1 second left, and it's not enough. It's going to be Tim taking the game. I thought we were going to go into a lobby swap here, but it looks like a rematch is in order. So back to the game we go for game number 4 of the series. This one turning out to be maybe a little bit more exciting than initially was anticipated. Tim doing a great job of battling back, and it really is the battle of bullet hells. Both players tasked with dodging a wide spread of bullets coming at them. Both players choosing slightly different tactics to do that. Whether it's with the Majestic or the Aegis Shield. Master again steps forward and takes huge damage. Tim similarly does as well, and so as both players get OB, getting too aggressive, it looks like we're into a pretty close series here. Master on the complete back foot, has to sit in the back of their play space. Finally able to get a chance to challenge, and as they do connect. A little bit of damage done there, and Master on the back foot here as Tim steps to the front of the play space and absolutely chunks Master down. Game 4 going the way of Tim.
3, 2, 1, blast on.
As we get to the back half of the season, these matchups matter quite a bit. Master not wanting to let this one go, applies some nice pressure here early in the round and does get themselves a slight lead. Has to have those Majestics detonate. If they do get denied or detonate too early or late, they ultimately don't do the zoning that Master wants. And there's a nice Majestic nade that Tim steps right into. Still, the Raptors not doing what Master wants them to, and ultimately Tim maintaining a slight advantage here. Raptors come in. Great Aegis Shield work. Some of those slow floating pellets tag Tim as well, and so the offensive pressure is here as Tim is forced to step to the front of the zone. The Raptors come in and they connect 1-2. Puts Master in the lead, and the offensive pressure is denied. As I say that, the push comes in and Master is forced through the slow fall grenade into some Raptors. Both players battling their heart outs here, and a huge Majestic nade sticks to Tim like glue. Does big damage, and Master able to get back into this one. Uses the nade to drop block a lot of those pellets. Doesn't quite keep them in this as those Raptor ellipses continue to connect. They're doing fantastic work for Tim. Master may have the lead, but it could be game 4 going to Tim. Here as the full spread comes in. Master dodges, 15 seconds left, and they still seemingly may have the lead. It's hard to tell here. One more attack opportunity is coming in for both players as the Majestic tags the shoulder of Tim, and Master able to escape what would have been a 5-second attack there from Tim. The full setup was coming in. We're into another round 3, and Master's trying to take the series again as Tim's fighting for a game 5. Nice dodge work from Tim. Master shutting down the slow hammer nade before it can spread and essentially be a wall in front of them. Maybe something we see them prioritize more throughout this series. Another nade coming through. That one not quite deployed the same, but we do see the shield again utilized to deny that hammer nade's its purpose here. And Tim seemingly recognizing how Master is reacting to these nades. The ones above their head in particular are getting a Cortex shield, as they should, because they're just doing so much zoning work. It's a very creative tool that Tim has brought here. Being creative enough is the question. Nice Majestic nade zones Tim off, and as Tim tries to set up for their push, Master was already on the attack. comes in again. Nade deployed, and this is going to force some floor work from Master. That doesn't cause them too much to worry about as they do dodge the heavy onslaught. The Raptor nades dropping in from the heavens. Raptor nades, I say. They almost act like nades. They come in from the top end there. Really interesting to see players try and utilize tools like other tools, all for zoning purposes. As Master does get zoned, they dodge the heavy onslaught of Tim, and I don't think you're going to see another full bullet hell spread like that from Tim with the limited time they have left. It's going to be Master taking the final round and securing themselves the series win. An incredibly hard-fought battle from Tim. Nearly took us to a Game 5, but ultimately not quite enough. A shout out to both players for giving us a great series to tune into here. And as always, we appreciate everyone that does participate in the league and does enjoy watching the action. Shout out to you at home for enjoying what was a pretty good series here today. Outside of that, a quick reminder again to buy your tickets to VRML Con. You can find those at vrmlcon.com or vrml.gg/LAN tickets. Buy them now. That's all I have. May see some more Blaston matches this weekend, so keep the eyes peeled on the channel. Hit the follow button if you haven't. Until next time, my name's been NightFiree with 2 E's, and stay classy.
Season 2 of VRML Blaston is brought to you by Resolution Games, HyperX, Asterion Products, VR Cover, Arma.gg, Kiwi Design, and VRware.net.